Yeah, we're gonna head right into draft here. And it hasn't been revealed yet, but this St. Clair Saints roster has another surprise. It's the return of Storm, more often known as Storm TFT. That guy's been a long time player. Was even in Nassau once, back in Nassau Season 1 West, with Zyoshi 64 and J-Tang on J-Tangels with a shotgun. What a crazy roster. Unfortunately, they went 0-7. But they were in Nassau, and that's all that matters.
Oh yeah, and I mean, yeah, so St. Clair is looking pretty promising for this match, but we also have Weston on the other side, played in Nasty the entirety of the season for Friendship, and now I think they've gotten super good in the past couple weeks, so I'm excited to see what they're able to do here. I haven't quite heard of AG or Robert Barron, but I'm excited to see what they can maybe pull off in this series as well.
Yeah, but taking a look at the draft, right, it is glass cannon, eject button, Luna goalie. And there's a saying that's often said, right, when Luna's out of the meta, it doesn't mean that Luna is weak. It's that Luna players aren't prominent. Judgmental back on the scene as one of those rare Luna players, locks it in right away. But there's a lot of damage on both sides, actually. The center blowing up does mean a KO comes through early, and Weston can't hold against the 2v1, tries desperately a good attempt on the primary, but Storm TFT will sneak it through. It was actually not Storm, it was a teammate. All good, I got distracted. You go.
Yeah, but I mean, so far already, we've seen a whole bunch of damage come out from Judgmental. Weston in particular didn't have his ultimate up that draft, so you couldn't quite get the save, get the life going back on the side of the Buffaloes, but it's definitely something that I can see more. With Atlas being picked up, we're going to see hopefully a lot more saves, a lot more lives here in this set.
Yeah, but St. Clair's really displaying that they're one of those top-tier teams in the CCL, right? They're targeting the middle of the barriers where it's awkward for Atlas to defend, and Weston can't defend everything, right? Even as the Atlas character, that center barrier, double barrier threat is just too significant here, and Weston's trying in the open net, but the question always is, how much longer can the melee goalie defend the open net because the barriers are gone?
Yeah, and I mean, at some point, if you're going to have Judgmental constantly forward, it is going to be hard with 3 forwards, and just like that, great saves from Weston. But I mean, hey, if Weston can save those, it's looking pretty promising for him.
Yeah, Robert Barron has a flip available and might be able to convert this into something. Great cyber swipe by AG, and that does mean that now the overtime core speed is unlocked for the Glass Cannon Atlas. A flip available, trying to get it past, but right to Shiro Isu, blocked away by Weston on the other end, and the defense is being kept up across up to the top side, but doesn't quite go in the goal, but the core speed keeps it up to Robert Barron. Dangerous situation for Weston, but Storm TFT doesn't have cooldowns available, but the passing plays are coming through. Storm doesn't quite get the strike there either. Big opportunity for Weston to keep it alive here as they keep it away from the slimes at the very least, but it's still such a dangerous situation for CU.
Yeah, and I mean, Weston has made some incredible saves throughout the entirety of that point, but unfortunately, it's just going to be too much. And I mean, with that Kazan has those bigger strikes, and Weston with the Atlas doesn't have as much range as you'd like, as much like kind of pressure to get this core off of your back.
Yeah, it was still a great attempt, like you said, and did extend that point quite a bit. Robert Barron and AG, of course, that cyber swipe collapse was really, really good as well from the midfielder to take the final barrier. If they could set up plays like that, that would be huge, but Weston has to flip to get out of a sticky situation. Maybe they can get a KO on Storm here, but Storm is staying alive, just barely bounced off the wall, still staying alive despite the EI rush, and this Kazan is being a little bit too survivable for this team to deal with. Finally goes down to the primary, and a big opportunity with this flip available, trying to get a passing play. Will finally cash out on the flip, and right past Shiro Iso, and burns the flip of Judgmental as well. Big point for CU here.
Yeah, that was some very good pressure from IG and Baron as well. They just kept the core in on that Luna goalie, who isn't great at just kind of keeping the core away. Because you can't hold it down with Luna, you just gotta hope. And that's exactly what they did. And with Robert and IG's pressure, it was not enough. It was too little too late. And the core went in.
Yeah, really, really well timed. Revive coming out from Weston there, keeping the team afloat. Good strike wars as well. Weston playing very disciplined against this Kazan, a character that really punishes you if you strike too early. But as the center blows up, IG barely gets the save. Barrier still surviving. for the CU Boulder Strikers here. One barrier down already. Cyber Swipe attempted. Strike shot's good to interrupt Storm, but Shiro Isu's pushing forward. The barrier still stays alive though, and Weston manages to hold, but that's a power play for St. Clair.
Yeah, and the damage output from St. Clair is so powerful. But here we see some offense in the other direction. And now it's just kind of a game of battling blows, seeing who can push it through the other with the damage that each team has.
But Robert Barron, what a combo. Finds the primary as well, follows up onto Judgmental. Looking like a great brawler right now, but comboed by the Crater into the black hole. Good stop by AG for the moment as Judgmental goes in. The Rockets, the slimes, but Weston saves the strike till the very end. Manages to hold once again in the open net, but there are no more resources left in the end of it all, and it is still St. Clair standing on top here. There were heroic performances from multiple members, all 3 members at times of CU there though, so I think they'll keep it competitive in the future. Taking a look at this draft though, what catches your eye for this Luna?
Honestly, I'm seeing Rapid Fire as my first pick, but Perfect Form is also an incredible pickup. You have a whole bunch of cooldowns. You're able to get all of those primaries, all of those ults out a lot faster. And on the other side, we see the Rapid Fire with Atlas. I think that's going to be pretty big because Weston was able to hold a lot of those cores, was able to save so many goals against the Kazans in large strike. So I'm excited to see kind of how this dynamic changes with more primaries for Weston, more defensive opportunities on that side.
Yeah, and I think pretty intelligent drafting from both teams here, especially taking the stagger, right? The stagger spark on Storm TFT and the peak performance on AG are going to be very, very valuable here. Robert Barron, on the other hand, took the build different, which is a fine size awakening, but the big fish was on the board, and I think they'd be surviving a little bit more comfortably if they'd taken the big fish.
Yeah, because that big fish does not give you damage like Built Different does, but it also gives you survivability, and here we're seeing Robert with such a low health bar that is kind of dangerous, kind of threatening. You see he's almost staggered there, and I mean, this could be proved dangerous.
Yeah, dash in from Judgmental, trying to stun away Weston, but big opportunity for Robert Barron to the bottom side. Tries to mix up Judgmental, but he didn't need to mix him up. The Luna had no resources. Oh, a bit of an over-stylish play from Robert Barron there, but they'll have plenty more tries possibly. Storm TFT, though, sends it right around the expanse and makes sure that CU's point is not coming through.
Yeah, and that was such a close one, too. That hook went straight around the Atlas secondary, and Storm was able to just kind of push that in. But Storm has also been doing a lot of damage as well throughout this game, just kind of putting that pressure on Weston and making it really hard for Weston and Robert to kind of stay alive and keep the core in.
Really, really good series of strikes there from CU, but in the very end, there's so few places to strike it. Judgmental with the flip, and Storm TFT with the maddening descent closes out that point. St. Clair looking as precise as ever, and with their legacy members here, Judgmental and Storm TFT back on the field. It's a completely new team, and they're looking even stronger than before.
Yeah, and with the core flips all up here, it could prove really dangerous. We see the barrier going down, and I mean, now it's just a matter of who can hold their energy the best and whether or not we can put the core in.
Oh, flip available. Good clear by Weston to make sure Judgmental can't get the easy flip there. But a KO found by Storm. A flip now. Shiraisu passes Storm TFT. No hesitation on the passing play, making sure the goalie can't get to it at all. It's a 3-0 set in the favor of the St. Clair Saints. And once again, Storm TFT looking good in the drafting table. Has a spark already. A spark comes up. I think you'll be very happy with that.
Yeah, I think we're probably expecting the spark of focus here. This could prove pretty big for Storm TFT. That's more cooldowns for you, even more health. Storm, we already kind of saw them not really dying much more from the side of the boulders, but we are seeing that second spark now, which could prove very big. In other terms, we also have the stacks on stacks as well for Shiraisu, which on a midfielder, that's just always good. And last thing I'm kind of seeing is that stagger swagger for Robert Barron. That could help get a bit more speed, get a bit more life on the board, and maybe make it so that they're not too staggered for too much of this game.
Yeah, especially with how many times they're being hit with the black hole. I think the stagger swagger will do them a lot of good taken out here, but the revive comes through just in time and still healing up, still still speedy is Robert Barron, who needs to be the difference maker here. Finds a great strike, finds a good follow-up, and the barriers fall very, very early. A bit of miscommunication, though, and Robert Barron has possession on the top side. The glitch pop keeps it up as well. Good offense from CU, but they can't get it through. Still attempting on the top side, though. Good strikes by Robert Barron still, and now Weston in the strike war situation loses one, but the second barrier still stands.
Yeah, and we're seeing already that pressure coming out as well from the Storm with more cooldowns and more health. There's just so much pressure we're seeing. Oh, great tech there from Robert Barron. Going to put a lot more pressure on the side of St. Clair.
Yeah, that was almost enough. I think Robert Barron hesitated a little bit on the secondary, which made the combo not fully work. And now Storm and Shiro in the overtime dangerous spot as the core bounces so quickly. Now the bottom side's wide open. Weston needs to be so careful here. Robert Barron staying alive, but it's AG with the glitch pop. Wins the 1v1 versus Judgmental, and that's a fantastic goal for CU to start things off.
Oh yeah, and AG has that prime time. Might have saved them a bit there with that extra glitch pop, able to come out. Same with the one right off the bat here. And AG as well has just been helping out Robert on the offense, and they've gotten so many good plays. I've seen a whole lot of great passes already from AG, and these are quite nice to see.
Yeah, but Judgmental's going in on the offense. That's what you picked the Luna goalie for, and they are getting it done. One barrier down already, but AG in the corner looking good. Two barriers down now in the glitch pop to keep the possession forward. Still looking so tanky thanks to the peak performance. The orb denied. Weston in the corner, dangerous spot, and the barrier will indeed fall, but good clears keep it away from the slimes. But Shiro's there in everyone's face with the Juno, and a passing play up. Judgmental building up meter, but it's AG right there with the cyber swipe, and CU with a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and AG, as I said earlier, is just providing so much pressure. They're level 7 right now, which means they've been hitting the core a lot. And they've just been able to work with Robert, and especially with those cyber swipes, we've seen a lot of really good ability usage coming out from IG in a very short amount of time, just like that glitch pop we saw.
Yeah, now in an awkward spot here, but that's a lot of damage being pumped onto Storm, who is 2 sparks with resilience, so is quite tanky here as Shiraisu goes in. The barrier still standing for Weston. But with Judgmental having flip, you cannot let up the pressure if you're CU right now.
Yeah, and we're just seeing so much pressure from CU, but also it's kind of dangerous because they don't have as offensive of a goalie, and Judgmental, when he's by himself, can get in a bad spot.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Judgmental with meter available. Shiraisu with 2 bars as well. But Robert Barron, the perfect DI rush through too. And so much damage onto Shiraisu as well. AG can't quite keep the dribbles up, but the job has almost been done here. So much meter on the Aimi. Robert Barron burns the flip. Dangerous spot for St. Clair though. And this Aimi just looking for one chance to flip here. A little bit too far from the net and easily deflected by Storm TFT. But the cyber swipe comes in not quite enough to get past Judgmental here. And Storm's keeping the pressure. But still such an awkward place to be for CU. The rotations back on defense are so difficult here.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of pressure this time coming out from St. Clair, and they're just trying to use these flips in a good spot. Just make sure they're using them well, but unfortunately no flip came out there.
Yeah, what a cyber swipe. I did not expect that particular angle. Judgmental too. Not getting there with the dash. No flip, and AG, what a point. Extra special is the reward, denying it away from the Luna as well. But it is a bit rough that the timeless also shows up in the same draft, so that 1-2 combination is a little bit dead here.
Yeah, on the other side though, we are seeing a missile prop coming out for Judgmental. That's going to prove really dangerous because that's more pressure that Judgmental is going to be able to use. Heavy Impact I'm not seeing going to do too much, but we are seeing a triple spark for Storm TFT, which is going to be really big here because that's more damage too. That might work to kind of negate what Robert Barron got with the Stagger Swagger previously. And outside of the Atlas Live, there's not a whole lot they can really do to keep themselves alive.
Yeah, I definitely gotta agree. I think Weston misdrafted by going timeless there. I think they should have double denied the spark. Now Storm is going to be such a menace, but maybe it won't matter if Robert Barron and AG are looking fantastic on the offense. Oh. Strike warning everybody is Robert Barron. Doesn't even need the dash downwards. And CU look like a different team.
Oh my gosh, Robert Barron just did so much work that point. Just got it through Judgmental on both barriers and was able to just push the core into the net pretty quickly there. I'm not sure how long that point was, but it was very short, and we're already seeing some more pressure coming out.
Yeah, AG has been fantastic on the follow-ups here. Judgmental trying to do the same, but the Luna Dash is a little bit more telegraphed as Weston struggles to defend here. Storm finds the rebound, and Judgmental helps out as well. It's the St. Clair offense coming through now. Storm TFT to the bottom side. The Slime's a threat, and the goalie taken out. The missile prop Luna finding value here with the Rockets. Weston gone for 6 more seconds, and another KO found by Judgmental. AG alone in the net, and it will be a simple hook into strike for Storm TFT. It's 1-1 now. St. Clair kind of tempering our enthusiasm as they try to close this one out.
I mean, yeah, they took that. They lost that first point. They lost their first set of the game, and then Judgmental got missile prop, which, as a Luna player, that's basically the best thing you can get. And we've already seen, we saw 2 kills there, left IG by themselves in that net, and we just saw that pressure coming out so quickly. And now it's just up to Judgmental to keep that pressure going.
Robert Barron now looking on the top side, trying to find an opportunity, and Storm and Shiraisu so much better available. Same with Judgmental. The energy economy in the favor of St. Clair Saints by so much here. Judgmental looking for a flip opportunity, ejects back, the timer runs out, and now with this flip, Storm TFT looking to win the 1v1 here. Finds the dribbles around, but good defense still by CU, keeping the core away as much as possible. But that's a flip in front of the net. Storm TFT looking to close this one out. And Judgmental will get a double KO as well to reset even more energy. Of course, the flip was expended, but with 1 point potentially left in this game, I think St. Clair are looking to close this one out quickly.
Yeah, and we're seeing Judgmental once more just feeling really good about coming in, playing up, and being the third forward that St. Clair is using to their advantage really effectively here. We saw that flip take out Weston, and now we might see them just take out Weston without the flip.
Yeah, they got to be really careful if CU is going to win the game, and with the brawler gone, it's looking a little bit more difficult. Trying to find an angle with the firewall sentry. It helps out somewhat defensively. Now flip available. Weston good strikes to keep the barrier up, and a good flip aim towards the bottom side to at least get 1 barrier, but AG's got to be careful here on Death's Door. Any ability will do it at this point. Walking around, watch out for the black hole though. That Aimee still in danger. Finally heals up just enough, and CU have recovered, but there's so many slimes barely getting out of there as Weston, and the combo not quite killing AG. Big opportunity for the CU Boulder Strikers here as they stay alive.
Yeah, and staying alive is kind of the name of the game here. Weston currently staggered and gets saved by his own Atlas Resurrect. That's going to prove really useful here as he's able to keep defending the net. And we're just seeing a whole lot of good defensive plays, a whole lot of life plays from the entire side of the Buffaloes, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah, but I think Weston could have gotten a little bit more healing here. Is about to be taken out, finally hooked away, and that's 11 seconds without the goalie, without the Atlas. Judgmental forced to burn the dash though, big for CU. Forwards in the net, can they hold? The flip wasted, but the strikes are good. Robert Barron wins another strike war, and Weston respawns. What a hold by CU. The Buffalo keep it going, find the barrier, and they're trying to make a huge turnaround here.
Yeah, and they're playing to their life so well, even with Weston gone. They had 2 flips, they used them wisely, and they opened up the barrier for St. Clair. And now we're seeing them just try and put this core in the net, keep themselves alive in this game.
Still a dangerous spot, but the glitch pop sends the core so quickly. Goes to Storm TFT, but the hook doesn't reach. Not enough size, but Storm is in there with the power. Overtime, 3 sparks, spark of strength, and St. Clair close out the first game.
Yeah, and we saw a whole lot of great plays from both sides. Weston was holding like a champ. We saw some incredible breakout plays from AG, just getting Judgmental off guard, using that glitch pop, using that cyber swipe, and getting the core in the net. And we also saw some incredible strike wars, some incredible pressure from Robert Barron, but unfortunately it was too little, too late. Judgmental was able to get his hands on that missile prop, and that's when the game kind of felt like it was over. Judgmental just got so many kills and was able to do so much. Same with Storm. Storm getting that 3rd spark was really dangerous for them, for the side of the Buffaloes, because I mean, with that triple spark, you have so much more damage. We saw Weston, Robert, and AG getting taken off the board so often that last set. It was pretty crazy. But here we're gonna go into game two, not too late from now. And I mean, yeah, I was just really impressed by the kind of St. Clair holding it down until Judgmental could play a third forward even more. And Storm and Shiro did a great job of just keeping that core into Weston's net.
Yeah, and taking a look at the map draft, the next map is Taiko Temple. A bit of a modern classic that map is. A lot of teams opting to go for it. CU will be blue side here. What picks do you think will be the same? What picks do you think will be different heading into this next map?
I mean, just seeing Judgmental, I'd imagine we're probably going to get the same Luna goalie as we got in the first game. I wouldn't be surprised. Judgmental is not known for much else, but granted, they are a very good goalie player nonetheless. So I'd imagine any more defensive goalie that they pull out, because you don't have as much space with that Luna goalie. You want a wide open map like Autumn City and like Atlas's Lab. There's a lot more space for you to do stuff. But on this map, like Taiko Temple, you have that middle bouncy castle, and so it becomes a lot harder to kind of play defensive. So I'm interested in seeing what Judgmental's going to pick. We could either get the Luna, or we could see a much more defense-oriented goalie. And honestly, I'm expecting the Weston Atlas again. It did very well in that first game, and it just, if you win the strikes, you're going to do pretty well. So I think that's what we're going to see from Weston, maybe Judgmental as well.
Yeah, and now we can see a bit of the awakenings here. Twin Drive and peak performance. I think CU is going to be pretty happy seeing that peak performance on the board after the end game of the previous game. Extra survivability would have done them a lot of good as they ban away the Octavia. I do think your assessment is correct. We're probably going to see the Atlas once again for Weston unless it's banned away. And I think first picking the Atlas is pretty important here because I think Judgmental will deny it away immediately if it is not first picked.
I don't really like that Mako ban because we Weston is known very well for his Atlas goalie. I'm pretty sure that's just going to be our first pick here. We'll wait, we'll see, but I'm pretty sure that's just going to be a lock. I'm interested in the Octavia ban. They might have just looked at Shiraizu's most recent core strike history, because I mean they banned out the Octavia, but we will see Weston's Atlas pick here, just going to be locked in. So it's going to be a pretty hold it down type game from what I'm looking at.
Yeah, and of course, I do like that priority. Weston has defended quite well on that pick in the past, of course, but a lot of the difference is in the forward matchups here, and I do like how CU played their forward matchups. I liked how the IME was being played, the follow-ups, and all of that. But this time, St. Clair are bringing the Asher to the table, not the Kazan. That's going to mix things up quite a bit. That could also go in the goalie role, too, if they're feeling a little spicy. But I'd like to believe, at least for the moment, that is for Storm TFT. And with the IME pick as well, that Shiraizu has played for so long. That's both a great pick and a great deny against TU.
Yeah, that IME pick for Shiraizu is what I've seen a whole lot in the queues. Maybe not right now, but a lot in the past when Shiraizu was more active in the queues. I was definitely seeing that IME pick a whole lot. From the other side, though, we do see Estelle and Rasmus. So they're going to go and just try and push it straight through, use those stuns on the Estelle and Rasmus against Judgmental's Luna here once more. And I think this could prove pretty dangerous. It's going to be another sort of just kill or get scored on at some point for the side of St. Clair. Because, I mean, Judgmental is an incredible goalie as usual, but at some point those strikes just stop working and you might need a more hold it down kind of goalie, especially against these more core control, stunning oriented characters that we're seeing here with the Erasmus and the Estelle.
Yeah, Rasmus and Estelle, what a duo. I think recently priority on the forward Rasmus pick by itself has dropped quite a bit, right? I think the opinion on that has gone down a little bit. But when these two picks are combined, there's so much hit stun potential, so much threat, especially against the ranged goalie with little defensive tools like you mentioned, like the Luna. So as long as CU can display the same coordination they displayed in the previous game, I'm really liking this for them.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Rasmus and Estelle separately are not the greatest of offensive characters, especially in the meta right now. There's a lot to be desired. However, with Weston and with the goalie matchup, I think this could prove pretty interesting because Atlas Weston has that twin drive as well. Is going to be able to use that throughout the whole game. But we're also seeing, yeah, Luna might just get outstruck, out core controlled, which could be pretty dangerous for St. Clair here.
Yeah, it's once again a game that depends on damage, but this time peak performance has arrived. Weston and Judgmental, the two goalies, the only ones to go twin drive, and that is definitely the correct choice here, given how strong peak performance is, that extra survivability and speed is, and the possibility of scaling with that spark of stagger is in this meta. Storm already taking a beating in the corner, but thanks to that peak performance can continue fighting without worrying too much. Same goes for Robert Barron as well on the other end. But this overwhelming corner pressure is somehow defended away by Weston to start.
Okay, and I mean, that's what we're going to be able to see with that twin drive Atlas especially. We're going to see a lot more defensive kind of corner hold it down plays. But whenever the goal barrier opens up for Weston, it could be pretty scary for him because there's a lot of space in that net and a lot of space that you can't cover.
Just like that, Shiro Aisu finds the goal on the rebound. Those bounces are going to require a lot of defensive assistance from your other forwards as well, especially if they're like Rasmus and Estelle that can rotate a lot quicker than, let's say, the Asher. But of course, the Asher also excels in the midfield interactions on this map, so forced to defend will also be doing quite well.
Yeah, and once again, we're seeing here just the Atlas is able to hold it down, keep the defensive going, unless, unfortunately, the strike shot's going to miss a little bit. And we are going to see just the defensive capabilities of that Atlas, but on the other side, the lack of defensive capabilities from Luna.
Yeah, just like that, with the double barrier, and Weston finding a perfect strike war here. Another strike war. Robert Barron doesn't find the timing there. Good to wait to try and avoid the crater, but you got to strike it at some point. 2-0 up are the St. Clair Saints.
Yeah, that was a pretty concerning point. However, St. Clair Saints did lose 2 of their core flips through that point. They only have Shiro Aisu's flip now. And on the other side, for the Buffaloes, we are seeing 3 flips pretty much about to get coming up here. And so that could prove pretty dangerous.
That definitely could here. Flip available for Robert Barron and AG in just a second, like you were mentioning. Pushing up the corner, trying to find the crossfire into the corner, but Judgmental, good clear away. And a KO found with a combo onto the Brawler. Storm TFT out of the building. A flip available for Robert Barron to the top side. And the Luna Dash will not be enough to match the core speed. It's 1-2 now in CU. They've kept pace throughout these first 2 games so far.
Yeah, CU did lose that first game in a 3-1 loss, but they are looking super strong coming into the second game. They're able to keep the core away from their net pretty effectively with that twin drive on Atlas especially. And if they can just keep holding it down and maybe get a few kills here and there, they're looking pretty good in this game.
Yeah, although that expanse backfired there, they still managed to get out with 1 barrier at the very least, and a good primary from Weston will keep it away. Robert Barron helping out as well, but now the core goes to the bottom side, the twin drive kicking in, just like you mentioned, and 1 barrier taken, but Robert Barron should have probably angled that a little bit, right? The directly forward shot kind of gave possession over to St. Clair, and now they're thriving with it. You give possession over to the Luna goalie team, they say thank you.
Yeah, and they take that core as far as it can go. They're only 1 point away from winning this first set and maybe just getting an awakening that can turn the tides of the game. And there we go. We see the flip coming out. Now we're heading into the draft, and this could prove detrimental to CU's chances, because if that Asher gets something good, it could be really threatening.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have good opportunities to deny here, but there's so many good awakenings in the draft that some will slip through in the end. To start a spark scaling perhaps on the board as well. That might be a very, very good pick later on in the draft, right?
Oh yeah, that size, that sparks, it could all prove to be very scalable here. We are going to see some crazy picks. I think specialized training in particular on Judgmental is going to be really good for their damage. Against those peak performances, it might be a bit weird. But we're also seeing Robert Barron starting that spark scaling, which could end up scaling pretty big, getting them something pretty strong going.
Yeah, but that's going to depend on the future drafts and if CU can survive long enough to really get that on the board here. Robert Barron sending it forward, trying to find a clear bounce, but Weston gets the clear once again. Storm not quite in position, but Judgmental just creates a position to be in. Both barriers fall. St. Clair, their offense is really being enabled by this Luna, and now Shiro Isu in the midfield sends it around to Storm TFT to the top corner, and Storm, incredible patience to not strike it there until the very end, just waits for the bounces to land in the perfect spot.
Yeah, and I mean, we are seeing a lot of pressure coming out from Storm here. With that Demolitionist on Asher, you're going to have a lot more size, and two of your three abilities do scale based on size, so that's going to be pretty important here. But we are seeing some non-size having characters kind of getting a little ripped up by the offense from St. Clair, or from CU.
Yeah, CU pushing forward now. AG trying to find an opportunity to Stell blink in perhaps here. Big opportunity, a good flip by Judgmental to defuse the situation, and a flip by Weston. Struck War by Storm TFT. That was just a full outplay, but Storm, no, that's a misplay. Uses the passive barrier of the Asher primary to nullify, but it doesn't matter when Judgmental's in there with the coverage rocket. The point still goes to St. Clair despite a bit of a flip incident from Storm.
Yeah, but I mean, we're seeing a pretty weird game so far. We are going to be getting into this next point, and I mean, I'm seeing a whole lot of just defensive plays coming out from the side of CU, and I mean, it doesn't matter though. It might not change things too much if St. Clair is able to just keep this offense going.
Yeah, I think CU just needs to figure out a way to keep possession. It's not about the individual pushes. It's not about individually finding the barriers. It's about keeping the possession in your hand so the Luna can't fly over and over and find opportunities. And now, once again, it goes on to AG, who finds one barrier, keeps it up in the corner, tries to find a bounce to Robert Barron here, but it slips past the Storm, who finds a perfect shot, burning the flip. Now they have to get this barrier, but without possession in their hands, it just goes to Shiro Isu. A perfect passing play between the forwards of St. Clair, and they take another set in 3-0 fashion.
Yeah, and I mean, St. Clair is just going to get more and more opportunities to scale. We are going to see if Robert Barron as well, in the end, might not be able to get the chance to stack any more sparks on their character. We saw it on Storm, but we might not be seeing it on the other team side. However, we will see a bit of fight or flight on Storm TFT, which gives them more movement speed, lets them control the core, kind of keep the pressure going even more in this game, and we are going to see a spark of focus fall down to Robert Barron. This could be the start of some kind of scaling, but they do need to win this set in order to keep themselves in the game.
And importantly, Shiro Isu denied the spark of agility. That means Robert Barron's lack of speed will really come in here, as Omega Strikers is in large part a game about speed. So I think that's a very, very smart deny there, even though you're not denying a spark entirely. Just being able to control the speed of the other team is so important, and Storm TFT staying alive here is also so important. AG keeping possession up for the moment, but Storm in position on the top side, and once again St. Clair looking so comfortable.
Yeah, and we are seeing just St. Clair is able to get the core into the net when it counts. Just like that, they opened up the barrier, but I mean, if they're able to keep the offensive power going, if Luna's able to go forward just like we're seeing there, I think it might be in the wraps, but we could definitely see CU here pulling out some tricks from their book and maybe getting some offensive plays back going against St. Clair here.
Oh, they're trying, but now the hotshot Luna is activated. Sends the core to the top side, and Weston zoned away completely. All three members of St. Clair combine to make this point theirs, and I think we're kind of seeing a lot of veterancy as well from St. Clair, right? All three of these players are long-term players. Storm and Shiraisu, since the beginning of launch, have really just been competitive. And of course, Judgmental has reached some of the higher heights of competitive Omega Strikers, winning multiple very stacked tournaments as well. Had a period of time when they were absolutely dominant. And on the other side, CU, they're making great individual plays, but look at the team play coming out from St. Clair.
Yeah, and I mean, building off of what you're saying, we're seeing a lot more like just veteran sort of plays, veteran game knowledge coming out from St. Clair, and the only real player that's been in the scene for a long time has been Weston here, and they're pretty new to the scene anyways, or I'm just bad, but I mean, it is really just a matchup of veterans versus relatively new players here.
Yeah, but CU still performing quite admirably so far, trying to resist in the corner once again, getting it out of there for now. Big opportunity as they find the bounces off the center drum, the rebounds through. A good strike shot from Weston to try and keep it alive here, but Shiraisu and Storm are converging in the corner, and with the barrier falling with so much damage onto Weston with a passing play all the way around the world, it looks like St. Clair are bearing in on the end of this game. The barriers do open up though. Big opportunity for Robert Barron. Perhaps it goes to Storm this time, not affected. The pass splitter zones away Weston for the moment, and a flip available for Judgmental. Cleared away once again, but Storm gets one last hand on the core, and that will be St. Clair advancing to 3-1 in the regular season.
Yeah, and this was such a strong play from St. Clair. We did see them feeling a little too comfortable in that last point, with them just kind of leaving Judgmental alone in the net, but Judgmental was able to lose one barrier and then keep the core out of their net. So that's pretty much all that matters here. We do see Judgmental getting that MVP for the game. And I mean, St. Clair just had so much pressure. They were able to get their scaling going early, and they were able to play to their strengths very well.
Yeah, it was very, very well played, don't get me wrong, from CU. But a lot of the finer details, a lot of the passing plays, the synergy, the possession keeping was just overwhelming in favor of the St. Clair Saints. A wonderful performance from that team that's seeded number 4 for a reason, right? Like, these guys made it so far in last season's playoffs. They are consistent. These are names that you have to take into account when you're trying to make the run towards playoffs here. And I think that if CU just plays more, they could really contend, because I was pleasantly surprised by the forward duo of CU, especially in the first game. There were moments where they were synergizing on certain plays really, really well, like the follow-up cyber swipes. That's just great to see.
Yeah, and what I'm seeing with CU is something that we've seen on stream with Fairfield in past weeks. Two players that you don't really expect a whole lot out of because they feel relatively new to the game, but they're doing so well. Robert Barron and AG played so well together, and they were able to get a lot of goals that I didn't really expect to come out, just kind of out of nowhere. And so I'm very excited to see how they do for the rest of the season. They are, I believe, 2-2 now, so they've already won 2 series. They just lost their second, so they still got some really good opportunities here in the future. And I mean, I could see them all making it to playoffs if they just keep working at it. They did really well despite the interesting count of goals at the end, but I mean, they looked really strong there.
Yeah, a bit of a jump scare from the ghosts of SCC's past, but good try by the CU Boulder Strikers. Great win by the St. Clair Saints. We'll be right back with another series. The Auburn Gauntlet approaches. Don't go anywhere.